Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today's video is a new What If series. I'm still going to be doing What If Sophia Survived, of course, but I'm adding another What If series, and it is in the Walking Dead game, aka the Walking Dead Telltale series, and it is What If Shawn Survived. So let's get into it. So in this universe, you'd still have to choose between Shawn and Duck. And if you save Duck in this universe, like you help Kenny save Duck, Kenny would put Duck down after getting him off the tractor. So Lee and Kenny would afterwards, they'd both start fighting the walkers. They'd both be kicking the walkers off the fence. And the fence would end up breaking, but Lee and Kenny ended up holding off the walkers long enough for Herschel to show up and kill the walker that was about to bite Shawn and kill him. And Shawn would get up and thank Lee and Kenny. And since Shawn's still alive, Herschel wouldn't kick the group off the farm in this universe. And Clementine and also Katya would show up and ask what happened, and Herschel would explain the whole situation, even though he doesn't know much of it. So Lee and Kenny would tell Herschel the basics, and they'd explain it to Katya and Clem. And Kenny and Lee and Clementine and basically Katya and Duck, they're all leaving also, like in the original story. But since this is a What If Shawn Survived, and of course we know in the original universe Shawn didn't come with them because he died. And there really would be no reason for Shawn to come along with them. But for the sake of the story, as we don't know what happens to the green farm and all afterwards, I know that the Walking Dead Telltale series takes place in the comics version of The Walking Dead. So basically, I haven't really read the comics, so we're just gonna go with Shawn going with Lee and Kenny and everybody else, basically. And the reason Shawn would tag along with them is because he'd say alone out here, they don't really have much of a chance, and he wants to help them and make sure that they're safe. And then, after he knows for sure that they're safe, he'll return to the farm. And Shawn, knowing that he isn't even that strong and all, so he'd bring Chet and Andre to the farm. So the group now consists of Clementine, Chet, Katya, Shawn, Duck, Andre, Lee, and Kenny. And the group would still arrive at the drugstore, where they would still meet Doug and also Carly, along with the father and daughter, Lily and Larry, and Glenn. And much like in the original universe, Larry would still accuse Duck of being bitten, and Kenny and Larry would still have their argument. And as Larry starts saying we have to throw Duck out and all that, much like in the original universe, you could either side with Larry or side with Kenny. But if you side with Larry, Shawn would intervene no matter what choice you make. If you side with Larry, Shawn would still step in. If you side with Kenny, Shawn would still step in. And Chet would also assist Shawn wherever he can. And so would Andre in the places where he could back up Kenny and Shawn. And Lee would continue on with whatever choices you make as him. And the whole Clementine getting attacked by a walker thing would go the same. And much like in the original universe, Glenn would still need help. And since there is 3 extra people in the group in this universe, I feel like Shawn and Andre would also go. The reason Andre would go is because he has a firearm, and Shawn would just go because the whole entire what if surrounded on him. And the rest of the episode would play out the same except the ending, when you have to choose between Doug or Carly. Whichever one you choose would still survive. But let's say we pick Doug, and in this universe, Carly /Doug would not die. And the reason being, Shawn would save the person you don't save. So either way, Carly and Doug would both survive. And now we'd be into episode 2, where the group would still end up meeting Mark as that. I don't see where in a world where that changes just because Shawn, Chet, and Andre are there. Also, I forgot to mention, Glenn would still leave at the end of episode 1 to go look for the Atlanta group like he did in the original. And in this universe, for the group's hunting trip, Lee, Kenny, and also Mark would be accompanied by, in this universe, Andre and Shawn also, because I think like in this universe, if they have a couple more like extra people that like are not scared to go out and get food and like supplies for the group, I think that they'd also go out and try to help as much as they can, because like they're pretty fit and strong guys, but as we saw in the game, Andre was sort of scared, but he still carried a firearm on him, so he'd probably still go. And in this universe, when the group come across Travis, Ben, and David Parker, which is the guy in the picture, because a lot of people don't know his name. In this universe, if Lee doesn't cut his leg off in time, Shawn would just take the axe and do it for Lee, resulting in Mr. David coming with you no matter what. And in this universe, neither of Travis's deaths would happen, mainly because like his walker death, like the one where the group managed to cut off Mr. David's leg in time. Travis would just not die in this universe because they have 2 extra guns, and I doubt Shawn would want to leave a kid to die. So Travis gets to live for now. And when the group returned with 2 new people to the motel, those being Travis and also Ben, Lily would start an argument on that now there's just 2 more new mouths to feed, and we shouldn't have let them in, and she's like, we should kick them out, because like in this universe you already have 3 extra people to be feeded, and now 2 more people have just joined the group. I know Ben like joins the group no matter what choices we make in the game, but since Travis is here also, that means there's 2 extra mouths to feed. If you include Shawn, Chet, and Andre, that'd be 4 extra mouths than the original universe to feed. And Katya would take away Duck and also Clementine away from the argument, as she doesn't want them hearing all the arguments about less food, as she doesn't want them to be worried about that. But eventually Ben and Travis would be allowed to stay, and in this universe, I'd say that Doug and Chet, they'd become pretty well friends, as their characters, they're basically kind of the same, but like Chet's character is more of a farm boy. He isn't all like nerdy like Doug, but I feel like they could get along pretty well. And in this universe, Carly and Doug would have a relationship because both of them actually survived, and they both sort of shared feelings for each other in the original, in episode 1, but only one of them could survive in the actual game, so we never really got to see that. And after deciding who gets the food and stuff, the St. John's show up at the motel. And that'll be it for today, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed, and bye-bye!